But good bounce-back season for St. John Fisher, who was 16-10 last year. Skidmore, first ever bid, did struggle a little bit this season, especially losing 4 of their last 6 in the regular season before going into the conference tournament and earning the AQ. Scranton, interesting up and down season. We talked about the win over Tufts, but they also have 2 losses to Catholic, and they also have a loss to Cabrini. I think it's more about who is Scranton here, and they might want to win and prove themselves, and luckily can do that on their home floor. Great crowd there always for Scranton women's basketball. Stevens and Baruch, certainly 2 teams that I think have a fascinating matchup there. Stevens, a 3rd team into the Empire 8. They're looking maybe to prove themselves again, another team that's doing that. And I think Baruch might be flying under the radar. Their only real loss, or their last loss, was to Montclair back on December 28th. I think, watch out for Baruch. They could be a team that nobody's really appreciating how good they really are.
All right, we'll continue back to the bracket, welcoming to the postseason FDU-Florham. Last year's champion is back to defend its crown. The Devils enter their 3rd straight tournament. A 10-point win in the Freedom Conference Championship get them in as an automatic qualifier. A tough offensive balance to defend as the Devils feature 5 players averaging double-figure points. FDU-Florham will play host to Johnson and Wales in another first-round game between the University of New England and Catholic. Continuing on, hosting duties go to SUNY Geneseo. Shannon McGinnis led the Knights with her 17th double-double of the season to help edge SUNY Cortland in the SUNY Championship game. It's their first title since the 2010-11 season, and entered the NCAA tournament with 17 straight wins. They host Castleton in the first round, along with the matchup between Cabrini and Muhlenberg. Today, what sticks out for this group of teams of Geneseo? Do they keep the streak alive?
I think Geneseo is one of those teams you got to watch out for. They've got one of the best feel-good stories of the season. Leah Sobierski, Wilson's disease, had a liver transplant back in March of 2013. She's now been named the All-State Good Works team, and what that's significant, she'll get to go to the Final Four in Division I, be honored for that. Team has rallied around her and are having a terrific senior season for them. You watch out for Castleton. They did tear through the NAC, won their 2nd straight conference title. Cabrini, 3rd straight title for them. They'll take on Muhlenberg, who defeated McDaniel to get the automatic bid. Watch out, they're a very defensive-orientated team. FDU-Florham on the top side of that, very interesting team. You point out 5 players in double figures. They are also frenetic on defense. They also play a little bit of a high-wire act, I think, sometimes, as they take games down to the end that will make anybody nervous, but they're the defending champs and certainly very good. And then University of New England and Catholic, fascinating matchup here. University of New England lost a heartbreaker to Tufts last year in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. Could be a bit of a sleeper there, and Catholic certainly with a couple wins over Scranton. It's not a team to forget, especially a team that got left out of the tournament last year.
Does that Florham team have the same type of skill that they did last year, or maybe a little bit more of a question mark this year?
I think a little bit more of a question mark last year. I think the advantage they had last year was that no one really knew who they were or appreciated their style. They came in, I think, very much underrated, and they kept knocking off very good teams because no one knew how to prepare for them. Now teams are going to be a little bit more aware of who they are. Now, they did lose a little bit of scoring from that team last year, but they picked up some dangerous weapons this year, including some nice outside threats. But and while they're undersized, their frenetic pace and their willingness to go up and down the floor and really get aggressive defensively makes a big difference, and that has been kind of their bread and butter. Eastern found a way to beat them, but FDU also beat them twice this season. It'll take the right matchup. I'm not willing to write Florham all the way into the championship weekend. They're going to have a couple tough tests along the way.
All right, we'll keep moving down the bracket we go. The next host is Thomas More.